Hi, good morning, good Friday, and this week I would like to talk to you, and it's titled, It's Not About the Meat That We Want or Our Desires That We Want. If you follow my WhatsApp statuses, I wrote about this week was about Souldemic. We do have a Souldemic, and it's broken down as well in two phases, phase 1 and then phase 2. Phase 1, how God created the soul. It says that He says, I'm going to create man. He will be able to conquer the world, dominate the animals, the trees, the fish. Be creative because I am creative, and I will make him in my image, and he will have victory from his accomplishments. For example, technology, medicine, science, and creation. Therefore, we are creators, we are go-getters, we look for achievements, and that's one part of phase 1 of our soul. So we are after achievements. Second part of our soul is God said He's going to blow in, He blew in actually, into our nostrils, a spirit, a life. Neshima has two meanings. One is the meaning breath, and the other is same words meaning soul. Just note that the pandemic is exactly where had to do with the breathing. Just a note, we're not going to get into anything. However, then God took Adam, put him into the Gan Eden, which is the Garden of Eden, and that's where all spirituality is and everything is. So we have a Souldemic in us that is two souls based on one that is really turning in us. So life is paradoxical, and we are walking on a tightrope, and we have to do the balance. So we have to be aware of our desires. We have to be in touch and not deny the desires, definitely not, as the Tanya teaches us, and the Nachman teaches us, and the Ishbitzi teaches us. All of them teach us to not deny your desires and be honest. Take a friend, discuss it with him, as Reb Meilich says. You need a therapist, take a therapist. You need anybody that you can discuss it and be open and vulnerable in order to get into your desires and needs, because this, let's face it, that's the way God created. Now, what do we see this week's Parsha? We see two requests from the Jews in the Midbar, and they got both. One was a spiritual one, and the other one wasn't spiritual. And we could say one was good for them, and one was really not good for them. The first one, they asked, Loma Nigara, why can't we bring the sacrifice? Because the Jews that were not pure in the time of the first korban in Mitzrayim, which is the korban Pesach, the sacrifice that was brought, they couldn't bring that korban. So they came now, they became pure, and they asked Hashem, why can't we bring this korban? Why? What are we less? God really listened, and it's one of the only times in the Torah where we see a request, and Hashem says, okay. And we added something into the Torah because of it, because the request of a pure soul, of a spiritual soul, asking for something, and Hashem listened to their request, connected, because they connected their hearts to Hashem, and Hashem really honored that, and then, okay, so you could even bring now the sacrifice. The other request was totally not a good request, and we see that the request was actually honored, but it wasn't even in need. They were asking God, give me meat, we need steak. And it's not that they were missing food and money that they got from Egypt. And the food, the money that they had every taste in the world. And they said, just like we ate fish in Egypt, they never had fish in Egypt. So it was illusions, illuminations, and it says for free meaning, I would say free meaning they didn't get into their free will. Meaning to say, and God gave it to them, but it wasn't a good thing. So we see God gives us choice, whatever we really want, and we see the two parts of the soul. It's within the same person, and we should recognize that. And we have to work with that. And yes, there's times that we fall, but we can pick ourselves up. But the real ultimate goal that God created the world, the way it says, is Lehisanek el Hashem, to yearn and to have pleasure within godliness and the real pleasure. The same words of oinek, which means pleasure, you can also turn it around nega, which is affliction, which is not good. It depends how you're going to. Now, if you think the meat is your thing that you're looking for, it's really not the meat. And look into deeper, because as the Jews did not need meat, they were not hungry. They were looking for something else more spiritual, and they just couldn't get it. Now, sometimes you might be very high in spiritual, and you don't even know what you're looking for. As Reb Nachman says, an addict, they're looking for something that they cannot reach. Therefore, they're numbing their pain. And we're all in possibilities of being addicts. Addict does not mean necessary just being addicted to the product or taking alcohol or anything else, any outside substance. It can be even with meat, it could be with anything else, but you have a yearning. Realize that you have a yearning and bring that yearning up to Hashem. And this week it says also that Aharon HaKohen, the highly priest, was given to light the menorah. And it says that you should light the menorah and stay there till it lights up from itself. Don't walk away. And everybody really could light the menorah, but it was given to Aharon. We all can have a Aharon which was full of love for another person, which was full of kindness. And we know that he used to go into the Holy of Holies. Also, he came in between arguments and marital relations and between people and listened to everybody's story. He had an opening heart, an opening ear, emotional connecting to people. So we see the high and the low, what a big soul is supposed to be doing. And it says, Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam. The candle of God is our soul. And so let's light it up. God gave us the choice. We can ask Lama Negora, give us a sacrifice, and let's connect, and our real yearning is towards Hashem. Or we can ask for meat, and it didn't turn out the right way. Let's light the menorah. Let's light our souls. If you can't do it yourself, always reach out to a friend. There's always people that like to hear and help. And I want to bless everybody a Shabbat Shalom. And let the menorah be lit.